What is up, everyone? We are going into Sunday morning. It is almost midnight. So, Scott Brandt coming to you from Colorado Springs. Today, well, I guess we'll say yesterday, Saturday, was awesome. Patrick and I had done a spicy chocolate challenge. So, if you want to go see that video, go check it out on my Facebook. It was a good time. Honestly, for me, it was like a green bag of Doritos. It was not spicy. So we'll see. We've talked about some other challenges in regards to what we want to bring. So it's just interesting just to kind of do those different things and bring a smile to people's face with our pain. So, but man, I first want to, like we had talked yesterday, wanted to give a shout out to the first sponsor for Two Native Sons, and that being Jasper Axelrad with Tabala. So that food truck is phenomenal. So if you haven't had a chance, go and check them out. Go try out the food. Go chat with Jasper and her team, and just excited for that opportunity. And then Patrick ended up sharing that we did launch our Patreon account. And so there was a post, I think, that I had shared. So it's just another avenue for you if you'd like to provide support to what we're doing. Here you go, another avenue for it. But then had a couple individuals that I wanted to give a shout out to. The first one is Dorinda Vanderpool. Her and her family own a new store down in Chapel Mall called Design Your Life. So if you're going in to the mall, you'll go down the wing with Build-A-Bear. You'll hook that and just go down the hallway. So as you're walking towards their shop, the food court's going to be behind you. But with what they're doing with that shop, phenomenal. The front half will be retail aspect, and so you can go check them out. She was very excited because her daughter did some design work for tie-dye. So she's got some shirts in there with the logo that they had crafted. So it's on the shirt and whatnot. So go check out a new store. Go support them. Grand opening was today. And then on the back half is space for, they've got a little stage for individuals to come in there, do some live streaming. Or tonight they had a musician that was performing. So an open space, very interesting with the concept there. Excited to be able to see what we can do to help them out, help them expand their reach and impact the community. And so it was excellent. And then back there today, they had a couple different tables for some small business owners selling different products that they had. So that was awesome. So we got to meet some different individuals, but wanted to shout out to Dorinda and her family for what they're doing with that space. And then also got to give a shout out to Lane Wright. Shared his post that he had done for his blog. So go check it out. Go give a support to another local small business entrepreneur and just a great individual. But if he watches this, got to give him a shout out and ask him where's his live at. He'll probably comment and be like, "Oh my goodness, Scott!" But hey, you brought it up. You, like I told you, Lane, you've got a story that somebody else needs to hear. And you got a message that somebody else needs to hear, and you can't sell yourself short because you have experience. So go out there, utilize the platform that you have to make a difference in the lives of others and whatnot. So don't sell yourself short. And if you catch this and you get mad at me, it's okay. I will gently prod you because you said that's something that you've wanted to do. Well, here you go. It's easier than what people think. So, but yeah, just a couple individuals to spotlight. Also want to thank you, Sharon and Patrick, for their hospitality, for having me over tonight and being able to share dinner together and just deepen our relationship. And then we were talking, and Patrick and I were doing some different things, recorded the next chapter for the book, recorded the next episode for another podcast that we have. And then we were sitting there and we started talking because we have an idea. We don't have an idea, but it's starting to happen in regards to another endeavor with under the umbrella of Two Native Sons of different services that we are providing other individuals within the community and even outside the community, and helping them out with some different planning procedures that they have. And so that branch has another little branch that has sprouted off with an idea that we have ready to go. So it's one of those things that it's just slowly growing, and it's like a little tree. We're over jigging out, doing a little dance and whatnot. So, hey, having fun with it. So excited for it. And this is the thing. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, you need to share it. And you've got to understand that you're going to have people that will hear your dream, and they may be of the individuals that have a small vision, or they've given up on their own dreams. And so you got to be cautious that you have these big dreams, and they need to be audacious to become a magnet to attract people that see the vision and want to go with you. Magnetize, magnet up, go and team up. Let's go destroy it and get it taken care of. But you've got to be careful, because you're going to tell individuals what you dream about. And if they have given up on themselves, or they are of an individual caliber that dreams small, they may end up trying to steal your dream. They may end up telling you can't do it. They may tell you it's impossible. So you've got to have that mental toughness and have that capacity to overcome those disempowering beliefs that individual possesses, because people are going to try to project their limiting beliefs on you. And so you got to be cautious, but you also have to share your dream, because how do you expect your dream to grow? And so, as I always say, and I've got to go look this up. I don't know the significance. I don't know why it came up, because I was talking to somebody else, and they also talked about having a same vision with how many people to impact. And so with Two Native Sons, the aspect is to go and impact 1 billion people, and we will become a $1 billion enterprise. So I've got to go look up and find out what significance or what it is with 1 billion, and look into that. So it's just very interesting, because you'll start dreaming, you'll start thinking, and then you'll start talking to other individuals, and you'll hear 1 billion, and it's like, okay, there's something here, but it's all good. And so it's that's what it was. I was talking to somebody, who was it? I don't remember, but it was the fact that have dreams so big that you get scared, or have so dreams that it's so large it causes fear. And I was talking to a good friend, Daniel McCarthy, and she was talking about the idea that there are two different meanings, two different ideas when it comes to fear. And so the normal fear that we think of is the one that drives us and scares us. The other fear is that of it causes awe, and it causes inspiration. And we were talking, and I brought up the fact that you always hear of, if your dreams aren't big enough and it doesn't scare you, then you're not doing big enough things. And so it's one of those things that it's the fear aspect. It's not the fear of, oh man, I'm scared, whatever it is that we normally think about with fear. It's more of that fear that causes awe, that fear that causes inspiration. And it's one of those things that Daniel brought up, and I was like, all right, a little bit different to look at it, but I was like, oh, okay, very interesting on that. And so today had a training, and whoo, buddy, man, love it. Love to be poured into by individuals that are doing big things. And with the training that I receive, it's powerful, because a lot of people will be like, well, it's business training. It's more than just business training. This training bleeds into every part of your life. And so it's unique, because I've used some of the training in regards to different aspects of my life outside of business. And it's a beautiful thing to see it come to fruition and it start working. And it's like, oh my goodness. So man, I'm just grateful to have individuals and have the culture that really drives you to grow as an individual, but it more so outside of business, that it's actual a whole encompassing person when it comes to looking at this training and whatnot. And it's unique how people will find ways to tear down the training. They don't look at the power of what it does if you've worked on yourself. And that's the biggest thing, is the if, because you have to work on your mindset. You have to work on the thing that's between your ears that drives everything else. Because you could have an aspect where you have a paradigm that you have had stuffed in your head, and it's a belief that doesn't serve you. And so one of those is an aspect of a relationship. And I've talked about this quite a few times. And I've had people that are like, no, you're on the correct trajectory with this thought. And that's of you complete yourself, the other person, the friend, the business partner, the intimate partner, whatever it is there to complement you. And so it's oh, I love it. But it's a powerful thing, because we have too many people that will get into a relationship and they forget who they are, and they start looking at other things, other people, to come in and save them or to complete them, make them happy. And that just does not work out well, because if that relationship burns up, if that relationship expires, you have drift and that relationship is non-existent. If you've looked to that other individual to complete you, good luck. Because if they are the one that's filling that hole in your spirit, your heart, and they walk away, it's like having an IV in your arm. They walk away and it gets ripped out, and not softly, forcefully, you feel it. And so it's one of those things that I'm like, ooh, buddy, I love it. So I'm just grateful just to have the relationships that I do. And I'm grateful for the growth that has taken place. And just excited, because what that does is I'm able to utilize this growth that's taking place and go and turn around and help other people out. And so the powerful thing is, individuals that go through training, there's information that you guys have. And don't be selfish. Turn around and share it. It's called ILT, Invest, Learn, Teach. You have to understand that your notes that you have, those are uncashed checks. And so this is another way to create value and give it to other people. And so that's the name of the game, is how much value can you create, and how much inspiration, and how much can you go and impact the lives of others. How often are you taking the spotlight off of yourself to focus on others? That's a tough thing, because you'll have individuals that are like, oh, I don't want to do it. That person over there is going to think I'm crazy. That person over there is going to, whatever it is, whatever excuse you're given, you got to cut that shit out. You got to focus on other individuals. How can you help other individuals out? But this also is the flip side, though, too. You've also got to take the time, and sometimes you got to be selfish. And it's one of those words that it's got the negative connotation. You're being selfish. That's not good. Being selfish is not a good thing. No, you've got to be selfish, because how do you expect to be able to pour into other people if you haven't taken care of yourself? And it's one of those things that really punches you in the face, and you've got to shake and you got to wake up, because when we hear the word selfish, it's got a bad view on that, which is crazy. And then you don't do what you need to take care of yourself, so that way you can turn around and be selfless and pour into other people. And so it's one of those things that sometimes you got to tear things down and reorganize it and check to see if that belief that you have, does it serve you? Is it still serving you? Is it a belief that doesn't meet who you are to your core? And that is scary because you got to start looking and you got to ask yourself, is this truly who I am, or do I have to change it? And that stuff, because now you got to get in there and start rearranging stuff, and it's getting outside your comfort zone. So all I do is smile and say, okay, what am I doing here? What am I learning from it? What do I need to tear down? What's not serving me anymore? So it's a beautiful thing. So hopefully you can find it too. Like I say, I love people where they're at. More power to you. But it's one of those things, finding people that have the growth mindset, finding people that are looking to do big things and shake things up. And that's not the easiest. It's not fun at times, but it's well worth it. So a couple of different things that were spoken today. And there was one thing, and I titled this video here, the short-term or long-term view. And so how are you looking at stuff? So many people are driven on the here and now. You start a business and then you have folks that will be asking, well, how much money have you made? I just started the business. Like, really? Like there was something that was spoken that with Coca-Cola, their first year of business, they only sold 25 bottles of Coca-Cola. Think about that. And now look at where they're at. They're a household name. Everybody knows about Coca-Cola. But their first year, they only sold 25 bottles. And I look at that and I'm like, man, that's powerful when you think about it. Because you'll start something and people will be like, well, what about the money? What are you doing? It's like, it's a slow, because this is the thing. If you have short-term pain, you're going to have long-term pleasure, because that pain is going to cause you to grow. That pain is going to cause you to progress. That pain is there to start tearing down the impurities within your life. Maybe that's not the right word, but that's what came to mind, because it's you go look at the way that swords are made. They're shaped and then they're burnt through the fire to get rid of the impurities. And so it's the same thing. The pain that you're facing, yeah, it sucks. My divorce for me was very painful, and it sucked. It was not fun. But you know what? Where I'm at now, I'm grateful for it, because things have taken place. Growth has taken place, and I'm grateful for. And so that's the thing. I'm grateful for my divorce that took place. It's not something that people are gonna be like, yeah, I'm grateful for it, because they're not looking to see what came out of it that's powerful, what came out of it that can impact you, what's coming out of that situation that's going to allow you to grow to get to that next level. So it's finding those things within the pain that you're like, this sucks. I don't want to face this pain. Let me run and hide from it. And it's like you have a challenge that jumps on your path and you push a little bit, and you're like, oh, it's not working. I'm done. Let me turn around and walk away from it. No, that pushing has to occur more. Yeah, it sucks. You're like, when is it going to change? When am I going to get to that point that I see other people at? You can't compare yourself. You can't look and say, when is it going to happen for me? You just got to go push through it and it will click. When it clicks, I don't know. But it's one of those things that things happen for a reason. And everything occurs in your life when it's meant to be. You can't judge. Too many people are looking and saying, well, over there, it's happening for them, but it's not happening for me. Okay, well, that's them. They're on their own path. They're on their own journey. You are your own individual self. You are on your hero's journey. What are you going to do to overcome your hero's journey, to learn and to grow and come back and be that person that you're meant to be? And so that's the thing. every time you get success, every time you get further up, you're going to get to a new level and you're going to have to adjust. So you may have gotten to this certain level and confidence at that point got you here. But when you get to that next level, that confidence that you had here is going to have to change because this is a new level. You're going to face different things than what you face down here. So your confidence is going to have to be shaped again. And so Patrick and I were talking while recording our chapter for our book. You got to this point and you had people that came with you that helped you to get to this point. When you go to the next point, these people that came with you to this point may not be the same people that go with you to that next point. You might be going to a point that they have not been to before. And so they don't know what to do. And so you may have a different group with you that wasn't the same group that got you here. And now they're moving, you're working here. You might have a different group. You can't be scared about that. And that's where you may be getting outside and getting into other circles that you normally don't get into because you weren't ready yet. It's the same thing when you read a book. You go through that book one time, okay? You go through that book the second time, your brain is going to pick up stuff before that it wasn't ready for when you read through the first time. And so your brain has expanded, your brain has grown. So when you go read that book, there's going to be things that come out that second time that you didn't see the first time. And you're like, why didn't I see this the first time? It's because your brain wasn't ready to receive that information. And so you'll hear individuals that will read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill multiple times. And they're always finding something new out of there that they didn't see before. And so that's one of those books when I talk to people, the book that really resonates that way with a lot of people Think and Grow Rich is The Buddha and the Badass by Vishen Lakhiani. Very powerful. Different things that I was like, oh man, this book is going to be a continual read. And I highly suggest people go get the book. But if you haven't done the work on yourself and you're not ready, what Vishen talks about may go over your head, which is okay. But that's a sign that you got to do the work. You got to work on yourself. You got to work on yourself harder than anything else. Because what happens on the inside is going to impact the external world. And you can't let it be reversed where your external world impacts your internal. And so it's the thing with your thoughts create feelings. Feelings create actions. Actions create results. It's all an inside job here. It's all inside. And that's on you. And it's not the easiest because you're going to be having a mirror put up to you and you're going to be like, oh, shit. I don't want to deal with this. You got to deal with it. So, but like I said, short-term pain results in long-term pleasure. Now, if it's the opposite way, short-term pleasure is going to lead to long-term pain. The biggest example that we can come across is people that win the lotto and win a lot of money and weren't ready for it. Look at where they're at a couple years after winning the lotto. They're a lot of times in a worse place than what they were when they had won the money. That was quick. They did not prep themselves to be able to handle all that money. It's the same thing here. Yeah, it's nice that short-term pleasure is going to be nice, but you did not work. You did not push yourself to get ready to be ready to take on that pleasure that's going to occur because you had faced that short-term pain. If you have a short-term pleasure, you ain't ready to go and push. And so you're going to have long-term pain because you weren't ready. And if it was easy, you're not being challenged. So that's where it comes in. And talking about that, something of greatness doesn't come easy or quickly. And you can fight me on that all you want. Be like, that's crazy. No. Things that are of greatness, it takes time. It honestly takes time. So it doesn't come easy and it doesn't come quickly because you are getting prepped. You are getting ready to get to that level. But if you start going through and you're like, oh, it's not working. I want it quick. Amazon hasn't done us a favor when we can get freaking product ordered one day and it's here the next day. Everybody's quick. Man, I'm getting everything quick. Well, your results and you working have to take time. And so our society with everything that's quick, we're going to be screwed here soon if we don't prep and get ready and stay in that mindset that anything anything of greatness takes time, and it does not come easily and it doesn't come quickly. And you can fight me all you want and be like, no, there's been things that have happened. Okay, well, where's this person at, or this thing that you're talking about? And the last one, well, two, this third one was, don't let the uncommon become common. That really punched me between the eyes, and I was like, oh, because you have things that are uncommon and you start getting used to it, you start coming in a comfort zone, you start slacking, and then it becomes common. And that uncommon piece is what sets it apart. But you start slacking, you get used to it, and you get into this little nice, comfortable blanket, and you're like, oh, this is nice. And it becomes common, and you're like, this is stupid. This blanket that I used to love, it doesn't serve me anymore. And so I think it's one of those things when you look at relationships. If you don't continue to work on the relationship, it comes into something that you're like, oh, man, Groundhog Day all over again. She's making me mad. Well, maybe it happened that there was something that she's making you mad or he's making you mad that when you first were together, you're like, oh, this is so nice. It's so cute. And now you're like, this is stupid. Why do you keep doing it? So, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. And then this is the last thing. And it's man, becoming an entrepreneur is not the easiest. Being your own business owner, sometimes a lot of challenges come into play, which is okay. I don't have it any other way. But they were talking that many people are bought at wholesale and then flipped for retail. And it's like the 9-to-5 job. It's the W-2 job. And this is the thing. It's one of those things that if you love what you do, great. Just know that a lot of times your worth and value is not being shown fully. People don't understand. They don't see fully what you bring to the table, and you're letting other people dictate that. You're being bought at wholesale and then flipped at retail. And what happens is that profit that's occurring from what you're bought at and then what they're utilizing you to go and do, that profit's going to the business, whatever your business you're working with. But like I said, I love you. If you love your 9-to-5, more power to you. Keep doing it. Just know that a lot of times your value and worth is not being matched. And if you're mad and you're like, this is stupid, well, let's sit down and talk. Let's see what you have there, what's driving you. Because a lot of times the painful experiences really drive the transformation to occur. But sometimes you don't know where to go. Sometimes you're on your own. So that's where it's one of those things that I tell people. It's like, let's sit down and talk. What's talking going to do? It's going to help you start seeing things. It's going to help you start realizing things of greatness inside of you that a lot of people don't recognize, a lot of people don't give you credit for. And it's that one thing that can really drive you and really separate you from everybody else. It's your story. And so that's the beautiful thing is if you create a business can be imitated. But what's going to separate you from everybody else is your story. How are you taking your story and sticking it into your business that nobody can imitate? So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, send me a private message. You can reach out to Patrick. You can reach out to a lot of different individuals. And maybe we sit down and talk and I don't fit. We don't fit. It's okay. Still would love to see who I can get you connected with that could be a better fit for you. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I already know that. And it helps me out because I'm not going to try to force something that doesn't work because it's not good for anybody. But wanted to give a shout out again to the first sponsor that we have with Two Native Sons, that being Tabala Mexican Cuisine. Thank you, Jasper, for coming on with myself and Patrick and with Two Native Sons to be able to go make huge impact, because I know that's what you're driven by. Your personality is driven by how can I help other people? And that just aligns with what Patrick and I are doing with Two Native Sons. And man, just beautiful thing. Excited. Things are moving, things are grooving, things are growing. And just excited for what's going to take place. Excited to go and impact 1 billion people, become $1 billion enterprise, and do big shit. And just excited for the collaboration piece and everything that's taking place with people that I know, trust, love. Grateful for the friendships, the relationships that I have, and just excited to have that collaboration with people that are looking and dreaming big and seeing bigger visions and whatnot. So other than that, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for your time. I know this was a little long, but if you watched the whole thing, cool. As I always say, any aha moments that you took away from this, let's hear them. Anything that you may look at a little bit differently, let's hear them. I'm open to see what you're viewing, how you're viewing it, how you're thinking and whatnot. So, but again, thank you guys for your time. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys later. All right. Peace.